Hello and welcome to Loon Lovers Live. We're chatting with fans of the Game Changers series and the cast and crew of the Heated Rivalry TV show. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Anne, and today we are meeting with Versha Sharma to talk about her experience with the books and the show. Versha is the former editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue, where she focused on covering social justice, culture, fashion, and politics through the lens of young people. She is one of Gold House's 100 most impactful Asian Pacific leaders, and just moderated the BookCon panel with Rachel Reed and Jacob Tierney. We are so happy to have you with us today. Welcome.
Thank you for having me and for that very kind intro. The A100 hasn't been mentioned in a minute, but I like it.
That's really
I like to
exciting.
do my research. I may have fangirled a bit while researching, but you know.
She did. She did.
I did. Before we get into deep conversation, I just wanted to ask if you took part in the frenzy this morning to procure the Red Sox tickets or maybe get some new merchandise from the Heated Rivalry store.
I did not participate myself, but I watched it unfold on social media. Yeah, I had to work on some other projects this morning, but I couldn't resist, and it seemed like people were going crazy. I got, direct messages and texts from friends who bought hats. I took a screenshot. Of one. Hang on, because anyway, what was your experience? Were you part of it?
Yes. So, first, I wanted to yell at the Red Sox for their lack of telling you how to get the VIP tickets, but on my third try, I did find VIP tickets, and then wound up shaking uncontrollably from doing that. And then the Heated Rivalry store had new socks and tote bags, so I had to treat myself after the adrenaline rush
The socks.
of tickets.
That's great. What is actually happening at the Red Sox Heated Rivalry night? Do we know?
So the VIP ticket gets you like a baseball jersey that either says Hollander or Rosenhoff on the back and Red Sox on the front.
Love it.
And a hat, I think.
Yeah.
And a hat.
And there you get early entry and some kind of party or something. I don't
There's
know.
a DJ with trivia and themed snacks. So, yeah.
Sounds great. Are you also a Red Sox fan, or you just wanted to?
Just going.
Okay. Were you a fan of the different MLB team?
What was
No,
that?
I'm from Jersey, so it's Yankees all the way. Yeah.
I don't actually follow any
I
sports.
actually had to text my aunt. Yeah, you're fine, but I had to text my aunt and say, please don't disown me for going to Fenway. Please.
It's for the best reason you could possibly go.
Yeah. So,
Right.
yes, Jordan and I will be there.
We will be there.
I was laughing because I took a screenshot of this
Oh,
account, Culture Coven Pod.
yes.
Did you see this
Yes.
one? Yeah. They spent almost $120, and the caption was, "It could be drugs, I whisper, as I pay $40 in shipping and duties to ethically support the merchandise from the franchise that has given me a will to live." And I was like,
Yeah, that's that's a good reason to spend that kind of money.
yourself. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, we will jump into our questions. You recently posted on Instagram that you finished the long game. When did you finish, or when did you first read Heated Rivalry, and have you read all of the books?
Yes. So my chronology is that I watched the first 2 episodes when they came out, and I was on a train from an event in DC back home to New York the next day, a 4-hour train ride if you've never taken it. And I was so addicted, I rewatched the episodes, and then I downloaded the book, and I read the book on the train ride. I was done with it. So then by the time episode 3 came out, I think I had read like half of the
Wow.
series. Yeah, and then I was just part of it, the week by week drop, which, as you know, was such an amazing and fun time to experience together. And then, finished the book series from there. I didn't want to read the long game before I watched the season 1 finale because I knew there might be possibilities that would be another season, so I waited on that one. But, yeah. And I loved it. I love
They're
all of them.
amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
amazing. This is a little bit of a loaded question, but as we know, Heated Rivalry continues to this day to have quite an impact around the world. What has it meant to you?
Oh gosh. I mean, It strikes me on a couple levels. There's definitely the personal basis, which is I'm a bisexual Indian American, and I have complications with my family around that, right? Like I have a lot of feelings. This is one of the reasons why Shane's coming out scene to his mom is so special to me. Um, but besides like the personal level, even professionally, I've mentioned this before, but I reported on queer rights internationally for a long time. That was one of my beats. And in Russia and Ukraine specifically, for at least 12 years. And so this also actually happened during the 2014 Sochi Olympics. So it's really special to me that Jacob and Rachel, through the story of Shane and Ilya, actually shone a light on what life can be like for queer Russians. And so that was amazing to me. And then, yeah, I've been a part of fandoms since I was 12, I think. Harry Potter was my first fandom, and I've been reading slash fiction for that long. And then this was like the best adaptation I've ever seen of a male-male romance. And of course it blew my mind.
I think a lot of us feel that way.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite character in the book or the series? Or both, if you have a hard time choosing.
Ooh, that is hard. I will say I probably love book Ilya the most. So this is really tough for me because I also, of course, love Shane and I love Troy and Harris as well. But Ilya's number one. And in the show, I'd say it's more of a tie between the two.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the show versions of both of them.
They did so amazing.
Yes.
So since you have gobbled up the books, do you have a favorite moment in the books that maybe we haven't seen on screen?
Oh, from Heated Rivalry or the long
Any
game?
book in the series.
Oh, any book in the series.
Your
Okay.
choice.
I'm definitely I'm one of the people who wants to see Ilya tell Shane that his freckles are breathtaking.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
That is one of the sweetest lines. I love what we got in the show. I love when he touches Shane's freckles in the hospital room,
It's
but
just,
we need that line.
Yes, I agree with you. Maybe it'll be in season 2.
Yeah. I hope so.
What was your favorite part of season 1 of the show?
It's tough.
Really, do you guys have an answer for this?
I have like 20 answers. We have long answers.
Yeah, exactly. How am I supposed to do it? Okay, a favorite moment. Just
a favorite moment. One of your many favorite moments.
Well, the first one that's coming to mind right now for me is the cottage and the two of them just being super cute and playful with each other, and also getting to act like teenage then 20-something boys a little bit. I love all of those interactions. I think they're great.
That's a good one.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to seeing in season 2 of the show?
Everything that is in the long game. Yeah, I'm excited to meet Troy and Harris. I think that's going to be really, really interesting. I was excited at the BookCon panel to hear Jacob say he's digging more into Troy's character. I think that sounds really interesting to me. We all, at least I trust Jacob with his adaptations. I think he's more than proved himself. I'm excited to see what he does with the character. But this is also why the story has hit me on a really personal level. I deal with anxiety and depression myself, and I thought Rachel wrote about Ilya's depression so beautifully and accurately in The Long Game. And I just read this interview with her today that was apparently from December, but I hadn't seen it before, where she said it was really important to her to show that Ilya's depression wasn't cured when he married Shane.
Yeah.
And that, I was like, yes, it's true.
Right.
Like, they have their happy ending, but it's true. Like, this is something Ilya's going to have to deal with for the rest of his life, most likely. And he has to figure out how to do that. So that just rings true to me, and I think Connor's going to act the shit out of those scenes, and so I'm looking forward to seeing that. They both are.
Yeah.
They both are.
But we can be confident that, like, they're going to handle it. They're going to show everything. I've never felt like that about a show where I've like, oh, they're going to have that. Of course they'll have that. They're not going to leave that out. they'll do it right.
I was saying that
Yeah,
everyone
it's very-
needs an emotional support buddy while they're watching season 2. Like, you cannot watch it alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a great point. Yes.
Okay, we've been asking everyone since the show ended this question. It's a fun one. If you could have one prop from the show, what would it be?
Ooh, one prop from the show.
Anything. If
The first thing that popped into my mind, even though this may not actually be my answer if I had this opportunity in real life, but the first thing that popped into my mind was the chair from the Vegas room.
everyone wants that chair. Someone else
Versha,
said
Oh,
the
that
chair is tattooed on my arm.
Anne has a,
I want the chair.
a chair
Is it?
tattoo, yeah. She has a bunch of Heated
I
Rivalry
have to
tattoos.
see this.
But yeah,
Okay.
the chair tattoo is pretty cool.
Can I ask how many you have?
Of Heated Rivalry, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Started before the show came out. This was a book one. I have The Long Game was my first one because The Long Game is my favorite book. But then, yeah.
Oh.
I
She
have
has
5. I
the
will send you
quote
pictures.
from The Long Game.
I have the quote from The Long Game, yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, I love that. That's so cool. I have a friend who has 3 Heated Rivalry tattoos since the show came out, and she's like, it's not enough. It doesn't feel like enough. So I'm like, now I know Anne has 5. That's the highest I've heard. So
Yes. I have 5.
I'm sure that I'll end up getting a Heated Rivalry tattoo.
Yeah. There's plenty of inspiration, that's for sure.
Yes, I do. I enjoy seeing them. I enjoy the loon that Rachel has on
I
her
want a
arm.
loon.
I think that's
Yeah.
adorable.
You have a loon, don't you, Anne?
I love her
Yeah,
loon.
Anne
Yeah.
has a loon.
Okay, I have a really important question because you recently hosted Rachel and other exciting guests in New York City. Can you tell us about that incredible experience?
Oh yeah, the
Yes,
dinner
the dinner.
for Rachel. Yes, that was so special, and I was so happy to be able to do that. I've been hounding the two of them, Jacob and Rachel, like since the show came out, and I got hooked. Like, I immediately followed them. Like you know my story now. Like I immediately followed them on Instagram, and I think like very thankfully because they were both familiar with my work at Teen Vogue and liked it, they both followed me back, and so like instant DMing started happening. And I was like, I want to celebrate you guys. I want to do something for you guys. Like, this is something that I would normally do as editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue. Like, as that position, I would host dinners, I would host events or screenings for stories that we really wanted to elevate and people that we really wanted to interview. So I didn't have, the Condé Nast of it all anymore, but I still wanted to throw them a dinner. And I'm so happy that I was able to do that with help from my friends and help from Rachel's great publicist, book publicist, Kristen, who's amazing. And yeah, it was such a special night. And what I also loved is that Jacob and Brendan immediately were like, yes, we want to show up for Rachel. Like, let's make this about Rachel. And I'm really glad that we made her the focus too, because it was actually 2 days before that dinner that she announced that the long game was going to be delayed because of her Parkinson's getting worse. I had no idea that was happening, but I was so happy to be able to celebrate her just 2 days after that and have her feel all the love in the room because, we all went around the table and I asked everybody for their favorite scene or their favorite line, and that was great. And yeah, so and then Hudson, of course, Hudson moved mountains to be able to be there for her, which I also thought was really sweet.
I love that they're all just so supportive of each other. That's so cute.
They really are. It's so refreshing, and this is, another perspective I'm coming from is I have gotten to see a lot of people rise to fame either slowly or quickly over the years because we focus on emerging talent at Teen Vogue, and I've done that in my previous jobs as well. I've seen a lot of people get famous either really quickly or, over time, like over 10 years. And I do feel like this crew and cast have a unique bond and relationship, and not one that I've seen before, and it feels very refreshing. So
Yes, when we talked to Jenny Mack, the script supervisor, and she said he made sure we had short days and we got to go home with our families. Like,
that's amazing.
Everyone we've talked to that's involved in the crew and the cast, where they can't say enough good stuff about everything about this whole project. So yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. I hope they're able to protect that for season 2, but we'll see.
I know. Yeah. Okay, our next question. This is a long one. Hockey is a notoriously white sport. There are currently about 20 Asian players across the NHL. As a lifelong hockey fan, Rachel is very familiar with the issues of the NHL and has said it was very important that Shane remain Asian in the show, and Jacob agreed. In a time when we are seeing headline after headline of networks shying away from diversity in programming, did you find the representation in Heated Rivalry a vital pushback to that rhetoric?
Absolutely. I think that's absolutely true, and it's also done so well. The way that Jacob adapted it for the show, the way that Hudson acted it, the way they speak about it in interviews, the way, again, that Shane's mom, Christina Chang, who plays Yuna, acted it as well. Just, she doesn't have a lot of screen time.
It's important.
Yeah, exactly. It's important. They're able to communicate so much about his Asian Canadian identity and the pressures of being a first gen or second gen kid. I loved how they did it and how they handled it. And then the real life corollary to that is I also love what Hudson has done for Asian men as leads in music videos and rom-coms and movies, whatever it might be. Like Keanu Reeves was carrying a lot of the burden of sex appeal on his back to rebuff this nasty stereotype, and Hudson's just taking the torch and run with it. And I love that he embraces it and he shows it off, and it's great. It's great.
Yeah. It's perfect. Yeah. We are firm believers that storytelling is vital to the human experience. And we have a front row seat in the U.S. to the ways in which those in power try to stifle the impact of storytelling. For you, has Heated Rivalry entered the chat as one of those storytellers?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I feel like this is also what I've spoken about with regards to Russia. It's wonderful to see this story and this love story period, but then, yes, absolutely, this queer love story celebrated the way it's been. It's absolutely incredible. When I was in high school when the original Queer as Folk came out, and I watched it and I was super interested in it. We hadn't really seen anything like that on TV before in terms of queer representation, right? It was groundbreaking. My parents found me watching it and actually grounded me over it. That's how conservative, traditional Indian they are, and I love them with all my heart, but they were raised differently than I was. And to be able to fast forward 20 years later and to host a dinner for Rachel Reed and Jacob and everyone to celebrate this show so openly on social and through journalism and all the videos and everything that have been done is very special to me. And then I'm also very aware at the same time that people in Russia literally can't do that or are getting fined over it. And I think that's really important to me for us to keep in mind too. That was one of my first thoughts when I saw the show, and one of the first conversations that I had with Jacob was are people in Russia going to see the show? Is HBO going to license it there? What's going to happen? And what ended up happening, of course, because it's the internet, is it was shared very quickly through Russian Telegram channels. That's one of their big messaging apps. And people were watching it. Tens of thousands of people were watching it.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, just recently, was it just this week, the Russia, one of the newspapers or online media had put up a review of Heated Rivalry, and they had to take it down because they were going to get fined.
They were fined for it.
Gosh.
Yeah, that just happened. Yeah, literally, they can't talk about it.
But they're watching it,
which is crazy. But they're watching it, and it's really important, certainly for who we have in power at home in the U.S. It's great pushback, important pushback against that too.
We have it on good authority that you are a Marvel fan. Can you tell us which Marvel characters your favorite Rachel Reed characters would be?
Oh, okay. Can you give me an example?
And I know you had one.
Would you imagine Ilya as a Bucky Barnes, or who would you put in those roles?
I think Ilya would make a really hot Winter Soldier. Yes, that's true. Who would I put in those roles, though? That's interesting. Captain America is my favorite Marvel character, so of course I'm just trying to think if anybody knows that, and I know there have been the Scott comparisons, but I don't think I see it.
Who's your Captain
I'm not sure
America?
about that.
I'm putting Kip's dad as Captain America.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I support that. I love Kip's dad so much. Yeah, I support that. Oh, I'm gonna say like Elena, Black Widow.
Ooh,
She'd be badass
that's
at that.
good.
And also look really hot, probably.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I love this.
All right. So we always finish our episodes with a series of rapid fire questions. We've been asking these since our first episode in October, so we're excited for you to get a chance to try these out. So the first one is always Coke or ginger ale.
Ginger ale, all the way. I was a ginger ale girly before Shane, but I love that.
It's good. It's really good.
It is.
It's good. It's genuinely
Yeah.
good.
Yes. 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 Okay, no pressure, but lots of pressure. New York bagels or Montreal bagels?
I gotta go with New York bagels.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Montreal. I think they're lovely. I have had them before, but I've lived in New York for 17 years. I have to give it to my city.
That's
Thank
fair. Okay. The chair drag or Scott lifting Kip?
The chair drag. Chair drag.
Yeah.
Scott lifting Kip is great. The chair drag is one of the hottest things I've ever seen on television. So
It's amazing. Yeah.
Okay. How about a night out at the museum or a fancy gala?
ooh, that's actually tough. I love both of those. I'll go with night out at the museum.
Okay. Shane's bedroom with all of the fancy pillows or Ilya's bedroom with copious amounts of bedside lighting?
The pillows.
Pillows.
Ilya does have a lot of bedside lighting, but yeah, no. I love you.
When I was looking to compare both bedrooms, and then I was like, wait, how many lights are in this room? Okay. Oh, yeah. All right.
It's kind of insane. Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, yes. How about French or Russian?
Oh, Russian.
Especially when
both-
Connor Story is speaking it.
Very sexy,
Yeah.
though. They're both very
Yes,
sexy.
for sure. Okay. The Canada fleece or Ilya's club shirt?
Oh no, I want both of those. Can I wear them?
That's frequently what people say that they wanna take is one or the
Yes.
other.
Yeah. If I really had to choose, I'd go with the fleece because it looks so dang
really
comfortable. But the club shirt is so good
It's
too.
perfect. It's perfect.
It's so it's so perfectly like early 2000s Slavic. That's great.
Yes.
I love it. Okay, well, those were our questions. Thank you so
Amazing.
much, Versha, for joining us today. And check back soon for more Heated Rivalry love on Loon Lovers Live.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.